We're brought to you by our friends over at Centris Federal Credit Union. It might be that time of year. Maybe you need to get a new vehicle, right? They've got you covered on your auto loans. Go to centrisfcu.org to talk to one of their experts, see what options you have, and see what they can do to get you into a new vehicle in February, if that's what you're needing. If you need something else, they've got you covered. Just checking and savings. They've got mortgages. They can help you refinance. Whatever you need, talk to an expert at centrisfcu.org. Nationally insured through NCUA. That's Centris Federal Credit Union. DB.
What's up, buddy?
I wanted to talk a little bit more about this Chris Crutchfield thing because I was very vocal last year, early in this year as well, about the exact same thing that came up with Sam in that interview last segment about
the very same thing that I heard at the Papillion Southwest West Side game.
I would guess so, yeah,
because it was
about the lack of recruiting local guys for Omaha, and it's a thing that bothers me because I like basketball in the state of Nebraska, right? I want local kids to be rewarded with local offers, right? Pretty simple.
I understand.
I think it's a really good way to continue to foster the sport in the state. That matters to me. That's why, even though people think I hate Nebraska basketball, I want Nebraska basketball to be good. Yes, I'm a Creighton fan. I want Omaha basketball to be good. That's why I was so frustrated with Crutchfield last year and early this year. Obviously, what he's doing this year is working to great success. Most people have him projected to win the Summit and make their first NCAA tournament as a Division I team. Awesome.
And I didn't take that stuff I'm a Crutch guy. So
yeah, 100%.
Like, but I do hear it.
You understand what I'm saying.
I hear it quite a bit.
So here's my question, though. It's working really well this year.
Yep.
How sustainable is recruiting that type of player to a place like a Summit League team?
I think it's very.
Okay.
So
because that would be my concern.
Okay, so I watch him pretty close. So I could be a little just take this with a grain of salt.
Sure. Don't worry, I'll push back if I feel it necessary.
One of the things I think that staff has been really good at is identifying who works for them. And I think there are a lot
in terms of their system.
Yep.
Okay.
I think there are a lot of those types of players out there.
Okay.
The basketball market is over flooded. We're reaching, this is the dirty little secret about hoops.
Okay.
We're reaching this critical juncture in basketball where it's become super haves and have-nots.
Okay.
And there's this middle portion that's got lost.
Mm-hmm.
You're either playing on the shoe circuit, paying, or receiving $3,500 in fees. If you're good enough, somebody will take care of that for you, or they waive it, or you're paying that to play at an elite level.
Mm-hmm.
So the development has suffered. It's suffered mightily.
100%.
Okay. Again, just my opinion.
I agree.
So people either think this is what it's happening. COVID hurt basketball the most.
Okay.
And I would maybe say baseball second.
Okay.
Football is way off. So what's happened now is because coaches need to turn programs around so quickly, this is what they do. If you're not playing in a power conference, what you do is you play the short game. You try to get as many athletic guys that can play as you can. You're not so much worried about development because you feel like in a year or two those guys will get picked off anyway. So you try to get while the getting's good.
So that's where my question lies, right? If you have these, because
hang on. So
go ahead.
Then tell me what you think.
Okay.
So what I think Crutch is doing at Omaha with his staff is they're very good at identifying what works for them, and they're so good with kind of how they're treated, what's happening on campus.
Having a good AD is a huge deal.
Just somebody that's for you.
Yeah.
Right? He can get 2 and 3 years out of these guys, and there's a lot of them. There's a ton of them.
So
I think it is sustainable.
So what we're saying basically is, hey, you get 2 years out of him.
He's pulling from a
he is. He's recruiting.
Pull.
He's recruiting nationally.
I mean, aren't you disappointed? Like the portal in basket, It's sad.
Sure. There's a lot of, and we don't talk about it the way we do in football. There's a lot of kids left out to dry.
I mean, you're
left out in the cold.
Just stuck.
Yeah. And so
and it's hard to be seen. There's,
yeah.
You know, the boys basketball numbers at the varsity level and competitive sports is down dramatically across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is either you're really, really high end or people just think you can't play. Yeah. So people don't play.
So they say, why bother?
So we saw the boom. We saw the housing market boom in basketball.
And now we're in a little recession.
Yep, it's gonna have to settle back down.
So
888-638-4876 if you disagree. That's what I've seen over the last handful of years.
So it's kind of funny because I feel like what you're describing is something I advocated for mid-majors and low majors to do, and that's basically run your program like a JUCO.
I do remember that. You spent a couple of, I remember that, and you're very animate. So
that's essentially what you're saying they're doing. You get 2-3 years out of them, you're good.
You have some traction. But what I'm not willing to concede for Crutch at Omaha is that guys are just going to leave.
Fair.
But because I do think they like it here. And
sure,
all he needs to do is win one time.
So here's my question.
And then you're not that far off. And I know what I'm saying, and people won't be able to handle it. But would you rather be in Omaha or Brookings?
Omaha.
Okay. But do you know what Brookings did?
When?
They have a couple poster children.
Yeah, they won. And they have
a couple of poster children. So they're able to they can sell it.
What do they have poster children for, though? Moving on to bigger and better programs.
And you have 2 coaches that did it too.
So, but so that's my point is that's a very JUCO model.
Okay, but listen. So
right?
This is I'm just finishing the thought.
Yeah.
So if Crutch can win, say they get into
let's say they get to Dayton and win a game. That counts as an NCAA tournament.
They get to the big dance, right? He only has to do that once. Then all the other good things that they do
start to fall in line.
Are validated.
And you get to live
I'm not saying that they're going to be South Dakota State
but
tomorrow.
You get to live in Omaha instead of Brookings instead of Fargo.
That's the model.
Yeah.
That's the model. And they've got a huge one. I think they're the 13th. They're Thursday. They're in Brookings.
Yeah.
By the way.
Are they in Brookings or Vermilion? Are they playing?
It's at DSU.
Oh, okay.
If anybody's going to South Dakota State and you're looking for somebody that won't talk,
unless you have bad music choice and then he won't stop talking,
that won't talk, and you're just going up there to watch some hoops, I can do a couple of business deals and watch good basketball. I will ride with you.
So here's my deal.
I should ask Crutch if I.
Are you guys going?
I think that I could take. No, they're going to spend the night.
You don't want to spend the night.
No,
not in Brookings.
No, and Jackson hasn't got me my apartment in Sioux Falls yet.
If you're going to run it like a JUCO, which is basically,
I'm not going to concede that though.
That's what you're describing.
So sure, but I think the part you're not listening to is I think he can keep the guys in the program.
But that's not really the goal. I don't.
Sure, it is. If you're the coach, you don't want them leaving.
Sure, but if you're talking about, hey, you got to get proof of concept with players, coaches, and wins, then part of that is to move on to bigger programs, right? Like,
I think it's the ability.
The William Kyles, the Zeke Mayos, the Baylor Shiremans.
I think it's the ability to get paid to play.
Right, which is not going to happen at the degree most of these guys want in a Summit League team.
I think he can keep them.
Okay,
it's a pretty nice. It's a good. They're doing good things. They enjoy being here.
I get that. I really do.
And here's the other thing I don't think you're acknowledging.
Okay.
It's a very competitive market. There are a lot of, this is going to sound like I don't appreciate J.J. White, but there are a lot of J.J. White-esque stories out there.
Sure.
Thousands.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's very competitive. So the more Crutch and these guys can be around these guys, hey, be appreciative. Man, this is a good deal. Let's do our thing together and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think that's what you sell.
And that's totally fair.
You feel me?
The place that I get a little hesitant, and again, I'm the one that was advocating for running it like a JUCO in order to be successful at this level, right? Because I feel like you have to. I feel like your success stories.
I think that was the model year one.
I think
it was like we got to get some ready-made guys because we're going to lose them in 2 years.
Well, and I think the success stories are your recruiting, right? So you're not going to see a ton of guys go from Summit League to the NBA. What you might see a lot of guys go is Summit League Big 12 NBA or Summit League Big East NBA, or like Frankie Fiddler, Summit League Big 10, maybe NBA or wherever. Like if that's the model, that's what I mean by a JUCO model, because your immediate success.
Maybe a guy or two, but it's not everybody moves on.
No, but that's the pitch. That's why you get the new guys, is because they think they can move on.
If I can play meaningful games in March, I'll come see you.